Hi everyone, it's Jen from Mind's Eye, and we're going to look at the weekly clear view. We are going to see exactly where this needs to actually go. And when we see this actually go somewhere, we want to immediately pick up the playing cards because the playing cards really weren't saying anything whatsoever. So when I say this, you just have to say, is this a go through it or a gone through it? So basically, what you need to know is all is a gift, and all is a gift in a way unknown to be reknown. And when I see this, I actually sit and relax because clarity actually comes to a peace of mind that you just can't even follow through or rush through or fall through or do anything of that. As I'm looking at the community matters of this, it actually is a fall through post this election. And it's not something that we run with, but it's something that we do with. And when we do with it, it can't be done. So when we look at community matters a day post elections, you have to say, what is actually going to affect everything? So when I look at it as something small, it's something as a town hall because farm equipment is being taxed on. And then it goes to the small businesses. And then when it runs to the small businesses, it goes to the schools. And then it goes to the schools and it goes to home. And then it goes to home and to other workplaces and yada, yada, yada. You already know exactly what the spiel is. But the first thing is the King of Diamonds. And the King of Diamonds says you have to go forward and you have to go forth and you have to be a bay. And when you have to be a bay, it means you actually have to sit and run through it by yourself. Because when you see it, you actually know exactly what to do. You've done this before every election. You just know exactly what to do. But the two of spades right here, it says it's a done deal. It's something that's criminal. Absolutely. Every election it says this. But in reality, was it criminal or was it not? Because we're sitting here with knowledge base of law, uh, referendum, addendum, yada, 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 as we say. And we say, you gotta be kidding me whatsoever. Who made it in here? This is an absolute joke. You can't even see it far enough, wide enough to say, old habits die hard. We speak right through everyone, whether we realize it or not. But the joke of the butt comes from the day when you can't even have a day alone to go to the doctor because the nine of clubs says cut it away, get a group, and then if you have to get a babysitter because this run through was so hard, you couldn't even match it whatsoever. The eight of hearts says, oh my goodness, what ran through that actually plopped down to investigators' desk to say, run this through, and it's a rancid picture of something that was a slew. So when you three of diamonds comes in and you say, this is not the way that we should do it. But in reality, when I'm seeing it for the rest of the week, it is kind of making sense of what should we do and what should we not do. I see the I don't know why I want to say acid, but acid bases come in as far as community batters because we're like on the bases. What do we need to know? We need to know about our soil. We need to know about everything of that, everything. But the Ten of Hearts says the group matter by the end of this week says it's pretty clear on what needs to be done as far as post-election, it's movement forward. We're getting ready for an inauguration. So the Ace of Clubs says you can't even see it whatsoever to get it done. It really is like the spark of this group of a movement where you can't be done at all. They're pretty solid, this group that actually comes through at the end of the week. The Four of Hearts goes, solid in solo alone, you can't be done with your work already. Yeah, there actually is. They work really hard the week before and weeks and months prior where they actually need a vacation a little bit post-election. So when you see the club, the Jack of Clubs, it is go forward alone and be alone for a while. because I can't even believe this was actually true at a ballot box. So when you see it and you say everything is a mixed order, you can't be done with your work already. I already know. It's the town halls. So when you see the seven of spades, don't go forward and don't go back and don't go here. Why is this a conflict of interest? So then the ace of diamond goes, nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. Here we are 3 days post-election and nothing has changed. They need to start signing and putting into order. Really, Susie Q, because the seven of diamonds says you can't even do a do hard enough on what to do next because it really is a crack of a joke. The election, everyone, I'm hearing like in the background of my house, they're like, "What are you talking about?" So the Jack of Diamonds says, someone comes through and says it is enough. Always, it's usually the executive officers, and it's usually the branches, and it's usually anything of that because the Two of Clubs says it's a holiday. It really is a holiday here in America. The Two of Clubs shows that you have a stroke of luck so well that you can't be done because this Joker and this Aviator deck says it was done a while ago where you couldn't actually be done with anything else. So when you tinker like a tinker toy, the four of spades goes, no. No, sit alone and see it a while and make sure nothing comes through. The queen of spades says, no, 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 don't worry. It's just a video game. The seven of hearts goes, just be it alone. Just be it alone. The three of spades says, of the energy, when you actually look at it as a whole collective, it is so solid by the end of the week, no matter where and how the election has turned out, it will be done in the way that it's supposed to be, legally, lawfully, and per policy, procedure, and protocol. So we won't have to have a committee come through and post online anything you need to do. Where? Town hall. So when you see it, you go, no, it's not due yet. It is not due yet. With that being said, what is true? When you actually end up having behaviors of when your candidate or any other politician or anyone who is running something didn't get what was done or do, there's something of a new journey that comes in that is meant to be a mystery. And like I said, new money offers come in this week because of elections. And that is a good thing, even for both parties. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't stop. This is solid masculine energy that actually comes through. It is not something of what families may have wanted. It is something of a lack of foresight, of too much of a whim of an impulse. It seems recklessness, but it really is a family disrupt of a lack of security of everything. You must use your intuition, your instinct, and all of it to the highest point of a degree, even if you are a little bit psychic, because you got to be stone faced and say, enough was enough. I had to do it to actually sit and secure everything. It does bring in monetary balance, whatever this massive change comes through, but really it will cause unrest, and that's okay. That's okay. The Nine of Pentacles says it's prudency that actually got through. The Two of Wands says you can't see it enough. You can't keep looking out the window and say, see it enough. The Five of Swords in reverse says, no, go do it about. The Nine of Cups goes, contentment order. It's an absolute contentment order because I got this done out of imbalance, but unfulfilled wishes. It happens sometimes. Sometimes you're uprooted in more ways than one in contracts and anything else in terms, and you say, I just throw up the papers and say, this is not what I was saying for my intuition of a quick ending. Absolute quick ending. The Four of Pentacles is a security that was meant to be in place. The Knight of Pentacles is a prudent action thought well out, not to rush in. It is a type of destabilization that's natural. Like I said, everything that's been governing every activity today and multiple months was natural occurrences of phenomena like the Northern Lights. It was the eclipses. It was the supermoons. It was the constellations. All that heavy energy drops down and dictates to make the struggle that brings in positive feminine energy. That is why this is the card that confirms everything, the Ace of Swords. It is a go forward and go forth toward elections in a way known to go northward. So when you go northward in an election, you sit forward and you say, we saw it, we heard it, we felt it. It's true. We've watched it for years. We know how to vote and where to vote. That is the true sitting and looking and the studying of all of it that will go down to easy policy and procedure of a school, down to a brand new business. So let's actually look at a little bit more into it. So this is the Akashic Tarot, and the Akashics were a type of document area of scrolls and historical prophecies and record keeping that are no longer in existence that we know of. Now with this, the waterfall in reverse, it means a go forward on it, but the floodgates, it's dammed up. There is no clearing the way, like this card says in reverse, because this is keys energy, this is forces energy, and I don't see a destabilization like it's insinuating, but it is a destabilization, like we talked about with the intricacies of the industry. So when I'm seeing this, this is something not written because the King of Scrolls says what this is coming through as far as Clearview talk for the week of how everything is going to be affected post-election, that you can't actually find it in the Akashic Library. You can't find it anywhere in prophecies or foretellings. When I see the ascent, I see a climb up that you can't do. It is a stay put order to a degree for a little longer. Because when you see the War of Roses, you're actually going to have to be solid where you've been, no matter where you've been for a little bit longer, no matter what you've been planning. I do see when I see the Four of Forces, when it says spring, autumn, I see more of a summer gaff happening. The Archangel Gabriel says that flip that has been anticipated is a go no north, meaning this, it won't happen in a drum, in a fife and core ceremony. The lookout says there's no watching. You can't get it done by sitting and watching. The Queen of Forces says there's still a lot of balancing of energies, more ways than one, to get something done to where we want it as a country. To boil it down to the conversations at the dinner table of saying, how was your day today? Because it's still up in the air. And that's really all you need to know. Now, what I'm seeing with this, and it is insinuating the Ark of the Covenant in reverse, it's something that is not safe or safe. And I'm actually looking at safes, like gun safes, and don't go running forward on that one. I'm seeing something of a type of security like a safe that needs to be brought out in communities and talked about a little bit more. Now, looking at the animal spirit tarot, watching how the animal behaviors are, but really it's more of an intuitive oracle. This always has been coming out. The whale. It is something when you actually look at the whale, it is solid, it is beautiful, it is sound, it is a go for it. So when you actually look at a whale, when the way that they go about their day, where it's solid source, that means that you can actually hear their frequencies and sound and actually decipher it to where even the buffalo actually say it is a move and go forward and walk around and don't worry. Just deal with the winter the way the winter is supposed to be done because the owl is literally something it can't be done in reverse. Now, the owl in reverse, we would look at it as something as wise and stoic, but in reverse, it is a sound reverse nurse, NERSE. It's an old word meaning a conundrum. It's a temper tantrum that you can't get anything done. So then you have your stips and your tears, and that's where the gazelle in reverse says there's no playful nature that will come in. So when you see the spider in reverse, it's just can't even understand it whatsoever. At least that's the nature of this house. They're a little bit happy right now. They're contented. Not a coincidence that the energy of the deck is a scorpion for Scorpio season. Now, if you're someone who actually sees it, Scorpio season is water season, and it tends to flow pretty well on a sting, especially when they get upset. But in reality, I saw November of something of a surprise for Scorpios that they couldn't even do a sting. They were pretty well happy with the way everything went. And that's all you really need to know. So, with that being said, as it boils out and as it plays out and as it stifles out to the ashes toward December, you just can't even understand how well you know how to play. So, with that being said, that's all I have to say for the week for Clearview. We'll talk to you next week and have a good night.